Hey everybody, we are going to review telling time to the hour. I know that you started this unit before school got let out, so we're just going to do a quick review and go over some questions. So, just a review about telling time in general. We are working with an analog clock. You're used to seeing analog clocks on the walls of the classrooms, maybe in your house a few places. Maybe an activity you can do is search around the house for what kind of clocks you have. Um, Most of the time, when you look at a cell phone or watches these days, they have digital clocks, but it's still really important to learn how to tell time on an analog clock as well. So, just a reminder that clocks have two hands that move around. The short one is the hour hand, and the long one is the minute hand. The numbers that go around the clock go from 1 to 12. There are little numbers that go in between the bigger numbers, but we'll get to that in a little while. These represent the hours. There are 24 hours in every day. And just a helpful hint that the hour hand goes around the clock 2 times in one day. So when you hear things like AM or PM, that's where that comes from. You might get up at 6 o'clock AM and you might eat dinner at 6 o'clock PM. So just some things that we want to remember when we're telling time is that this hand goes around a little bit slower than the longer one. Right? So the minute hand or the hour hand will move slower than the minute hand. When you see a clock like this with the minute hand directly pointed at a number and the green hand or the longer hand pointed at the top of the 12, that means that we're starting over at 0. So the time right now is 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock. The green hand needs to go all around one whole time for it to get to the next hour. When it gets to the next hour, it's not going to keep going 61, 62. It's going to start over at 0 and the hour changes from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Another thing that is important to remember when you're reading the time is you're always going to say the hour hand first. You're always going to say 2, and then you're going to say o'clock. Like you're not going to say 2:00. You're always going to say 2 o'clock, right? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to practice. I'm going to put some times on the clock, and you are going to answer the questions, right? So I'm going to turn that off. So what time would this be? What time would this be? And finally, what time would that be? Right? Those are your practice. We'll be moving on to telling time by the half hour, the quarter hour, or every 15 minutes, and then every minute soon. Right? Nice work.